Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face while you're sleeping. There are certain items you expect to find when you walk along the beach. Vibrant shells, tufts of seaweed, or perhaps even parts of a coral reef. It's not uncommon for the sea to gift us with little bits of its beauty. There have been many times where beach visitors found things that led to many more questions than answers. It's almost impossible to know how or why some of the things washed up on the shore. That being said, let's take a look into 10 strange things found on the beach. Number 10. Harley-Davidson motorcycle. It's not strange for a beachgoer to find pieces of sea glass and even the rarer shark tooth. However, finding a Harley-Davidson night train motorcycle is undoubtedly very strange. Yet in 2012, this is precisely what happened to a man named Peter Mark. As he was walking along an isolated beach on Graham Island in British Columbia, Canada, Mark found a Harley-Davidson with Japanese license plates sitting inside an insulated storage container. He was not aware of it at the time, but the bike had been one of the many casualties of the tsunami that had wrecked Japan's northern coast in 2011. The bike had been drifting in the Pacific Ocean for a year before it washed ashore on Graham Island. Harley-Davidson was able to find the owner, Ikuo Yokoyama, and offered to repair and ship his bike back to Japan. However, Yokoyama declined the offer and insisted that the bike be donated to a museum to commemorate the 15,000 people who had passed away in the 2011 tsunami. At present, the Harley is permanently on display at the Harley-Davidson Museum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works.
Number 9. MV Panayotis. Navajo Beach is located on the eastern coast of Zakynthos Island and is famed beyond the borders of Greece as Shipwreck Beach. It's hidden away in a cove surrounded by breathtaking white cliffs and incredibly blue water, and it's here that you'll find the MV Panayotis, a rusted, worn-out ship that made its way onto the cove's pristine beach in the mid-1980s. While it's a popular destination, the beginnings of the MV Panayotis shipwreck still remain a mystery. According to a certain tale, once authorities realized the ship was smuggling contraband cigarettes and booze, they trapped the MVP on the cove until the engine gave way, resulting in the boat being washed up on the beach. Another theory states that 2 Italian smugglers, contraband cargo, and a greedy captain are involved. Bad weather forced the ship into the cove, and the police attacked, arresting the men. The load was seized and sold off at an auction, and the MV Panayotis remains there to this day. Number 8. Snowballs. During the month of October in 2016, thousands of perfectly round snowballs surfaced all over an 11-mile length of beach on the Gulf of Ob in Siberia. According to certain reports, the snowballs varied from the size of a tennis ball to around 3 feet across. These snowballs are naturally occurring and incredibly unique, and were formed under strange conditions. The type of coastline, plus the outside temperature, has to be just perfect for tiny pieces of ice to coagulate and form into spheres by rolling wind and water. Whilst the snowballs that appeared on the Gulf of Ob took nearby villagers by surprise, the phenomenon is not only known to Siberia, they have been spotted elsewhere as well. Number 7. Ego Leonard. Surfer Tetsuya Hirata was loitering across Uegahama Beach in 2014 when he chanced upon Ego Leonard, an 8-foot-tall, 100-pound fiberglass Lego man dressed up in blue shorts and a red shirt. It seemed as though Leonard had made his way onto the beach overnight, but no one knew where he'd come from. Albeit, this was not the first time Leonard had curiously appeared on a beach. In 2012, he surfaced on Topanga Beach in California, west of Los Angeles, and in 2011, he was found on Siesta Key Beach in Sarasota, Florida. Prior to that, he'd washed ashore on Brighton Beach in the UK and Zandvoort Beach in the Netherlands. While it's never been authenticated, Ego Leonard is thought to be the makings of a Dutch artist who may or may not go by the name of Leon Kier. Number 6. Human feet. Whilst on a pleasant afternoon walk along a beach on Gabriola Island in British Columbia, Canada, a man stumbled upon a human foot wedged inside a hiking boot. Strange as it was, this was not the first case. Between 2008 and 2018, around 14 human feet in hiking boots and sneakers have made their way onto a range of shorelines in British Columbia. In spite of the number of feet, the British Columbia Coroner Service continues to maintain that the cases are not similar or the result of foul play. Rather, police insist the feet they've identified are of people who have either accidentally drowned or committed suicide. When questioned about the resurfacing of the feet, authorities have stated that shoes protect feet from natural elements, letting them decompose at a much slower rate than the rest of the body. Number 5. Lake balls. Dee Why is one of Sydney, Australia's many family-friendly beaches, greatly famed for its majestic New Year's fireworks display. And while for the most part, its sands are wrapped in footprints and striped beach umbrellas, in 2014, locals woke up to find thousands of furry, golf-sized green balls peppered across their much-loved shore. Pretty quickly, scientists confirmed that the green balls were unusual lake balls, crafted out of free-floating algae that had been tossed about in rough currents. Weirdly enough, Sydney isn't the only place that was graced by their presence. Since the 1950s, the indigenous Ainu people in Hokkaido, Japan, have held a yearly festival complete with a torch procession in honor of the balls. The Ainu refer to the balls as marimo and think of them as a national treasure. Number 4. Tombstones. Moderate water temperatures, fierce winds, and rough waves make Ocean Beach in San Francisco the perfect spot to go kitesurfing and skimboarding. But it's perfect for another activity as well: tombstone hunting. In 2014, gravestones with markers dating back as far as 1890 appeared on Ocean Beach after a night of strong winds caused large quantities of sand to shift. The tombstones, it turns out, are tied to a horrifying part of San Francisco history. In the early 20th century, as the city's population boomed, authorities closed most of the Chinese, Catholic, and Jewish cemeteries to make room for housing developments. Tombstones were sent to the landfill, used to create breakwaters and seawalls, or broken apart to line gutters. And some were dumped into the San Francisco Bay. Over the last few years, the gravestones have appeared and disappeared according to the weather. But don't worry if you happen to visit Ocean Beach and stumble upon a tombstone. When the bodies that once belonged to the stones were exhumed, they were relocated to Colma, a town located 503 miles north of Ocean Beach. Number 3. Love letters. In late October 2012, Hurricane Sandy bore down on the coasts of New York and New Jersey, uprooting houses, shredding power lines, eroding beaches, and flooding roadways and subway platforms. A day after the storm struck, while walking along a beach in the Atlantic Highlands, a 14-year-old boy discovered a stack of letters tied together with pink ribbon. He took them home to his mom, Kathleen Mullen, who dried them out. As she began to read, she quickly realized they were love letters. Upon further research, Mullen learned the letters were written between 1942 and 1947 by Dorothy Fallon and Lynn Farnham, while Lynn was stationed at Pearl Harbor. The couple married in 1948 after World War II ended and had 2 children. With the help of social media, Mullen discovered that Lynn had passed away in 1992, and Dorothy was in poor health living in a nursing home at age 91. But she was able to return the letters to family members living in Virginia. The romantic story, naturally, made the media and public swoon. And it was rightly said that even Superstorm Sandy could not take away the love that 2 people had shared in the 1940s. And with all of that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by one of our subscribers, so if you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it on over to us. We might even feature it in a future video. Number 2. This picture seems to depict some sort of torpedo that seems to have been found lying on the beach. As you might already be aware, torpedoes are underwater ranged weapons that possess an explosive warhead that's designed to detonate if it comes into contact with or when in proximity of the specific target. It's not unheard of for explosive charges to wash up on shores, especially in areas from World War II. but this one looks a little bit newer than that. Number 1. Fragments from the Challenger. 73 seconds after taking off from Cape Canaveral, Florida in 1986, the Challenger spacecraft exploded in the sky, instantly killing all 7 astronauts on board. A decade after this horrible incident took place, 2 large pieces of the spacecraft's left wing were found on Cocoa Beach on the east coast of Florida. Unfortunately, although the wings were a surprising find, they didn't provide officials with any enlightening information on the cause of the explosion. The fragments are now on display at the Kennedy Space Center, located 20 miles north of Cocoa Beach, alongside other spacecraft hardware and personal items from the astronauts. That concludes our list of 10 strangest things found on the beach. Let us know in the comment section below which one of these items you found to be the strangest of all. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell icon.